Hello everyone and welcome to the Aviation with Elliot channel. Now in today's video we're going to be flying to Edinburgh. Now it is the day of departure as well. I booked these tickets I booked a ticket last night. So I turned 16 last November. I went solo but I haven't soloed on an airline yet. So I thought it would be a fun experience. It was a 80 return I believe. But I looked at flights to Edinburgh later on. And they were a lot more. They're like 120 in the summer, which does make sense. But in the end, I was contemplating it all day. I just decided to book it because you only live once. However, it's going to be gusting 45 in Edinburgh. Our diversion should be Manchester. It might always change. If it's windy in Manchester as well, then we might just fly back to Heathrow. It says the flight time's 1 hour 25, but as I know, it's probably going to be just about an hour. And then we're getting a connection back, which is an A321 Neo. I have booked a seat on the way there. I had to change seats because it was a middle seat for £6, and then on the way back it was already seat 33A, and on the way it's 23A. Anyway, it's going to be a nice day. I'm just completing the rest of my homework so I don't have to stress about that tomorrow. And let's get ready. Okay, so I've got my bag ready. This is what I'm going to be taking. Just an Under Armour bag. Got passport, phone, battery pack, which is an essential, water bottle, and that should be everything for today's flight.
I've done my best to make him my best friend. Big fan of Vic Reeves /Jim.
So after enduring this slow M25, I arrived at T5, got through security in less than 5 minutes, which was quite impressive, considering it's still Easter holidays on a Saturday. Went down only to realise that I didn't fill up my water bottle, so I went back up to the water filling station and got a seat. So after getting there about 2 hours early, I had quite a big lunch as I said, so I didn't need to get anything. But I made my way down to Terminal Alpha 23, which was all the way down the southern end of T5, but it was still T5A, so it was no problem at all. There she is, Golf Echo Uniform Bravo, I believe, taking us down to Edinburgh.
Cabin crew doors to automatic and cross-check.
And we began our pushback facing the west, I believe, all the way down to 27 right for the taxi.
Cabin crew prepare for safety demonstration.
Whilst the cabin crew prepare to take their position for the safety briefing, can we please remind you, smoking, including e-cigarettes, vaping and the use of other smoking devices, is not permitted any time whilst on board. This does include the toilets, which are fitted with smoke detectors. Personal device should have a flight safe mode featured enable now. Handheld devices must be held securely or placed into a pocket. Larger devices including laptops must be stowed safely for takeoff and landing. Please unplug your device from the seat power for takeoff and landing. They must also be unplugged when not being used during the flight. Hand baggage must be placed underneath the seat in front of you or in an overhead locker so it does not block the aisles or exits. Place items in the locker carefully as they may fall out and cause injuries. We do ask for your full attention while we demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft, as they may differ from any aircraft you have flown on before. Please check that your seatbelt is fastened and securely worn whenever the seatbelt sign is on, and it is fastened and adjusted and open like this. For your comfort and safety, we recommend you keep your seatbelt fastened and visible at all times. If the cabin air supply fails, oxygen will be provided. Masks like this will appear automatically. If you're wearing a face mask, this should be removed before putting on an oxygen mask. Stay in your seat and pull the oxygen mask towards you. Place it over your mouth and nose, adjusting the band to secure it. Please note the bag may not inflate. You may need to pull on a colour streamer to release your mask. Ensure your own mask is fitted before helping anyone else. Your life jacket is underneath or beside your seat. If required, remove the jacket from its container and pull it over your head. Plaster tape around your waist and tie them securely in a double bow at the side. To inflate, pull the red toggle as shown. The air can be topped up by using this mouthpiece, and there is a whistle and a light to attract attention. Do not inflate your life jacket until you're outside the aircraft. Should we need to evacuate, you must move quickly to the closest usable exit, taking nothing with you. Low-level lighting will guide you to an exit. All exits are clearly marked and are being pointed out to you now. Please locate your nearest exit, bear in mind this may be behind you. Opening the doors automatically inflates the evacuation slide. High heel shoes must be taken off as they may tear the slide. Please now check that your table is folded away, your seat is in the landing position with the armrest down, and your table is away. Personal devices must be unplugged and window blinds must be open for takeoff. Please study the safety card in your seat area before we depart. This doesn't contain important safety information, including the brace position. If you have any questions, please ask a member of your cabin crew.
We'll depart in a westerly direction today before making a right-hand turn to pick up our northbound track. Cruising up to Edinburgh at 30,000 feet and the flying time just around about 55 minutes. Well, we are expecting generally fine flying conditions en route today, but please do keep an eye on the seatbelt signs throughout the flight with us. Whenever those seatbelt signs are illuminated, do of course return to your seats and fasten your seatbelt securely. Well, we'll get things moving now. I'll come back to you during the cruise with quick updates on the weather to expect up in Edinburgh, the arrival routing and the arrival time. For now, do make yourselves comfortable and enjoy the flight with us. Thank you.
Flapjack, I believe, or corn. I always pick the corn because it's just what you need, to be honest, and it's a nice little touch. But I know British Airways always does that, no matter what package you buy.
And your seatbelt is securely fastened. If you are seated by a window and have lowered the blind, please now return this to the open position for landing. You may continue to use handheld electronic devices for landing. These must be held securely or placed into a pocket.
Now the Meta earlier, or the TAF, said that it was going to be gusting 45, so it did start to become bumpy just northeast of Edinburgh, over the sea or ocean I believe, and then we turned west in. It's rather bumpy, but then when we got close to the ground it died off a bit.
remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened until the signs have been switched off. When it is safe to do so, please take care when opening overhead lockers, as items may have moved and could fall out, causing injury. You may now make and receive calls as well as use all data services on your handheld device.
And an absolutely massive thanks and appreciation to the first officer, the senior first officer, for giving me an Airbus tag, the weather, the cards, and a stick for future pilots. It was honestly such a great touch, and I've never had that before, and it did make the trip memorable, and I will cherish that. So massive thanks to him and the captain.
This is a security announcement. Baggage must not be left unattended at any time in any part of the terminal building. An extra hot triple shot.
So after disembarking the aircraft, weirdly in Edinburgh you just walk straight out into the departures, which I thought I'd have to go back through security because my return flight was at 8 o'clock and I arrived just under 6. So I decided to stay in the airport. I should have gone out really, but the flight was only from the only bookable flights that weren't like £300 didn't have much of a gap between them. Otherwise I would have walked around the perimeter, maybe plane spotted, or even going to Edinburgh, but unfortunately I didn't get the opportunity to, so I just went to the Burger King. £9 for chips, a burger and a drink is mad expensive, but it is what it is, and I got a book for my parents. Okay, so boarding didn't take too long. They just checked passports and the tickets. However, they did priority, then they just said all passengers come up, so everyone was trying to get to the front. Whereas in Heathrow, they did it by group, which was actually quite good. And here's the A321 Neo just pushing back now. Golf November Echo Oscar Sierra with the old cabin, I believe, which wasn't very comfortable. The armrests were really close together, but it was a beautiful sunset and a beautiful departure to finish off the trip.
service. If you have a food allergy or would like information on specific allergens on today's flight, please contact any member of the crew. For those of you seated in Club Europe who offer your choice of meal and drinks from the bar, in our Euro Traveller cabin we offer you a complimentary bottle of water and a snack. This will then be followed by a Highland Cafe buy on board service. We invite you now to make yourselves at home and enjoy our hospitality. If there's anything that we can do to make your journey more comfortable, please do let us know. Thank you.
As I enjoyed the beautiful sunsets, we were also offered again water, sweet or savoury snacks. Of course I picked the corn snacks, I don't even know what they're called, but we started our southerly turn down to Heathrow, passing over Manchester so I could actually see the runways, Birmingham I believe, and then we just went east of London, then turned for the ILS for runway 27 left. We did hit quite a big bit of wake turbulence on the top of the ILS. I believe that's what the flight deck said, but it was like doing a wing wave basically. It was quite fun actually. And then we just made our approach down to Heathrow. And I do apologise for the flickering lights. I think it's the LEDs from their Neo maybe that are causing it, but I will try to find and fix that for the next video. And that brings the trip to an end. Thank you so much to all the flight's crew for making it a memorable trip, and I'll see you in the next video. Please do consider subscribing for more travel content like this around popular routes so I can fund them. Thank you.